So today we'll be looking at a scenario where civilization starts over. We are now on episode 8. I believe I forgot again. I think episode 7. And um it's kind of so we've just so last episode we seen the Mediterranean War on what happened, the Roman Empire versus the Imperial Pact, and also Carthage Roma is allied with Carthage, so yeah. And we also saw the East Asian War happen, and a nation was born because of it. And but long story short, these guys won, and these guys won. Anyways, so let's continue this scenario, shall we? So the first thing we're gonna do is a rebellion which start to show up, and this rebellion does not want to be part of Caucasia at all. And two, Caucasia is getting huge. So if we see the statistics, don't. This is not a nation, by the way. It's just land. So we're just seeing that India is the largest right now in the world, and Caucasia is the second biggest before the rebellion. But anyways, a rebellion wants to show up because two, the nation can't go that far and they haven't took care of it, but they're gonna now declare war on them. So these guys move in pretty fast because there's I guess because they're different. So they're different between the Caucasian people. That's why. But anyways, the Caucasian Republic starts to finally get their armies ready before they take any cities at all. Bosivia goes into a conquest of. Hold on, wait. Let me change the thing. All right, I'm gonna. For this war, I'm probably gonna have to skip a few. Nah, I'm not gonna skip a few years. Right now, the year now is 546. We'll say, yeah, it's 546. The year is 546, and the world is just the world right now. Anyways, after the Caucasian Republic starts to push and push and push, and the world is the world's just the world. Sorry, I can't make words right now just because. But anyways, the Caucasians push the rebellion back. Still, they are now encircled and they do fall, basically fully. So the nation falls, capitulates. Boom. So they won the war for now, I guess you could say. So the Caucasians finally know that they can't hold on to these lands. These lands are too far to govern. So what do? Well, they sell a chunk of land to Ukraine, which says, okay, we'll take care of it, which goes, I guess, well for them. Anyways, ever since after the war, Constantia decides to declare war on someone else. They declare war on this small little country because they need to figure out. They need to expand their influence. Their influence had been weakened. But anyways, the Greeks are turning Roman every day. So this is the last stronghold of the Greeks, basically. So yeah, the second part is that since the capital is so far from England, Scotland would rebel, and so would Ireland. Hold on, Ireland rebels, taking the nation's just Ireland and Scotland just rebel, basically. Anyways, They decide to let this slide because they've been having problems also there, except in the like place of England. Anyways, um, now the Republic of Budapest declares war on the Kingdom of Slavia, which goes absolutely well, and they capitulate because of it. Anyways, nations are starting to. That was just a pretty short war. Sorry, I can't go any further because of the smallness of the nation. But anyways, after a little more, Tuskgol decides to unite with Zhao, and they still keep their flag and all that. But yeah, that happens. And so Tuskgol is becoming more of Mongolia. But still, anyways. So after the East Asian War, the East Asian War, the nation of Manchuria, basically basically could live, just doesn't. It's just restricted. But anyways, Germania. We're gonna change. Hold on, let's change the color a little more into a darker view. Boom. There we go. So, anyways, Germania decides to declare war on Barton because they need to expand their. They need to. Well, there's a bit of Germans. There's a ethnic majority German here, and they sought to unite all of Germany. So like the Germania region. But anyways, Germania decides to push them back, and it goes relatively well. Before Poland declares war on. Bro, come on, declare war. Oh my god. Poland declares war on Germania because there's also a Polish majority, and also they're planning to unite with the country. So yeah. But anyways, after that, the Polish start to push the Germans back, and so does Barton. After this, since the Polish are starting to send their volunteers to help out Barton, or no, Expeditionary Force, I think, yeah. But anyways, they swiftly take their capital, and Germania has to redirect their capital somewhere else, which doesn't go well. And then the Roman Empire also joins in, because they want to expand and they see Germania as a threat. So they decide to expand into Germania, and so Germania basically collapses. A new country, Denmark. So Denmark is made. Then I think Wilhelmshaven's made. Then Hamburg, I think that's where Hamburg is. Berlin, and Bavaria. And so the country falls into a depression arc. And so the country goes to peace. And they peace everywhere. So, yep, there goes the nation. Oh, wait. Peace. And there goes the nation. So basically, Roma is on their peak right now. They're in their very peak of height power. So yeah. Anyways, after that war began, let's see. After that, the countries of let me make this more Germanic. These countries start to make just more cities because they need an economic force here. And you can see that there is ethnicity of like Germans here. So does Poland have German ethnicity. So lots of Germans are here now. So cool. Anyways, Where's the Polish? No, I'll put a. All right, so they're Slavic. Anyways, the country gets city names everywhere, and so there's the first cities, like the first majority cities, like towns and cities. These are just towns and cities. Sorry. Anyways, uh, then Ukraine's just starting to fall. Like they're starting to get their stability down even more. Tuskal decides to want some more land, so they say, "Hey, can I how much for the for like this part where the city is?" And they say, "Just pay me anything." Anyways, because they're in some kind of financial debt, so they pay them a good amount for this. And so the country of China and the country of Tuskal are kind of good friends, but that won't last in the upcoming videos. Anyways, the Kingdom of the Philippines has claims on the islands of these islands. I think Malaysia, is this Malaysia? No, Indonesian islands, and so they're gonna have some problems. But anyways, the Egyptians start to expand into parts of more of Ethiopia, taking the heart of it, and also taking some parts of Somalia. So Egypt is basically kind of an old country right now, and so this isn't gonna do so well. But anyways, the country of they're not Slav. Hold on. So now, let's continue this. So now these countries start to get their, like, there's more cities, and cities get, there's, oh my god. So expansion with cities become more and more of a thing now. And this country, and so oh my god, bro, jeez, I can't say anything, sorry. So Madrid is made, like, I guess the heart of it. It's called Cerizzi now, so cool. Anyways, this country has lots of, so they're used to, if you go back, if you get like an old memory refresher, you could, you know that there was an old country here before Ukraine. And so they all moved into the Roma Empire, which I guess went well for them. But anyways, then Egypt decides to expand into more of this, more of this greenish region. And they also do expand into the deserts finally, after so long, after setbacks and all that. So Egypt is starting to grow and grow into power after like a pretty long time. Carthage decides to expand into more of Morocco and more of Morocco until finally it's just not Morocco. I forgot the other countries' names, but I think one of them is Mauritania. They expand into Mauritania, but same old, same old. The further you go, since, you know, technology, the further you go, you get basically rebellions because, you know, you're not taking care of them. So yeah. Anyways, after that, the country decides to just leave it alone. It's like they cannot expand anymore. So, anyways, so Budapest, so the Republic of Lechland decides to take some parts of Budapest because they okay, hold on, let me rephrase that. Lechland buys some land from Budapest. Anyways, there we go. So after that, Constantia. But Constantia is starting to rise in power again, actually. Sorry. Constantia is just starting to rise in power. But It's halted due to problems right now. But anyways, the well, that's basically it for now. But I want to see. Hold on, Ukraine decides to expand more into Finland, but they can't expand any more longer because rebellions start to show up, and these rebellions are very, very much. They're oh wait, that's supposed to be Slavic. Sorry, hold on. That's very much a problem for them. So let's get in now. So the major rebellion on Ukraine happens basically, and so the Great Rebellion War begins. Vincel decides to push back and push back. Lubzava, I don't know what that one is, but they start to push into parts of Ukraine. Wait, no, the parts of Belarus, and start to take Ukrainian land, full Ukrainian land. They take Moscow, which doesn't go well, I guess. But Moscow is gone now, so anyways, what's some other countries I can? Oh yeah, so the Vietnamese country starts to they now finally unite with Siam. They unite with Thailand, which goes good for them, and so does this country. I forgot what it's called, but they unite, and so they also ally with the Philippines. Or no, the Filipino alliance. Or no, the kingdom, the Japanese king. No, that's the. Anyways, this China leaves, and so does Manchuria, because these countries just had to stay there for a little while, but there's no threats now because it's peaceful. So these countries just become the islands. But anyways, let's continue this scenario. Anyways, back in Ukraine, the nation of Vincel, I don't know what's called, Vincino, I'll call it that. Vincino decides to expand, and Ukraine can't handle any more of this. So they decide to peace with Vincino. So Vincino pieces with them, and Ukraine focuses all its forces on this country, which goes actually well for them, and they get crushed. And so these guys are allowed independence. So the war stops, but they lost so much land because of it. So that's very much horrible, I guess. Anyways, the Imperial Republic wants to expand somewhere else. So they say, "Hey, I want this." So, oh my God, I can't make up events up. Egypt sells the Sinai Peninsula, and I also forget what's it called? I also forget peninsulas like the Sinai. So yeah, but anyways, after that, the Roman Empire decides to make a small colony here. They decide to make a small little colony. Their ships are starting to get more advanced, which means more colonies. So this is like the very first colony of sorts. So yeah, that's pretty good for them. But they'll see what they can do. So it basically means it takes like a month. It takes a month to go from here to like the very point to here, and then to here. Basically 2 months, actually. 2 months it takes to get there to here. It could have been longer, I don't know. And how long would it take to get to the Americas? About like 2 years to three. Yeah, they're very bad because two, storage, you don't have none of that, and two, the rough weathers. So yeah. Anyways, the country of Tuscolia decides to expand into parts of China and more of China, and even modern day Mongolia and Russia. So the country is starting to expand even more, taking more tribes and more tribes around here, and they decide to expand even more and more. China is starting to see this, and they don't really care about it. They are kind of scared of it because since they expanded more and more, it's kind of giving them a scared look for them. So, anyways, Tusgol finally borders Caucasia and Swagistan. So yeah. Anyways, the country of Tusgolia expands into some parts, and Tusgolia becomes the new largest nation ever. And they were just born like a episode ago, and they're like 12 years old. Yeah, that's how long it takes for one nation to grow that big. But anyways, let's see. The imperial. Well, Arabia decides to join the Imperial Alliance after making things up with them. So, yep. Persia decides to ally with India, and it goes relatively well. And so the Age of Peace basically begins for now. And so the Age of Peace begins. And so there we are. So that's gonna be it for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. And I think that's basically it. Yeah.